They are rare, but they are deadly. And here in the Miami Valley, we've been reminded of that twice in recent weeks. They also present a dangerous and unique challenge to law enforcement and really to all of us. So what is the right way to deal with wrong-way drivers?
1050, myself, I've just been hit by that individual. 1050, blocking number 1.
We call them wrong-way drivers, but law enforcement calls them lethal drivers, and for good reason. While they cause only 3% of all divided highway crashes, theirs are 100 times more likely to be fatal, a fact that's been driven home here twice in recent weeks.
Looks like head-on collision.
Okay. Do you know if there's anybody injured?
I checked the pulse on one guy and I didn't feel anything.
On February 13th, the man driving the wrong way on I-75 in Dayton slammed head-on into an SUV. He was killed, as were 4 others, all of them in their 20s, including 3 members of a local band.
I was passing Stewart Road on 71 going northbound. There's somebody in the fast lane going southbound.
And just 4 days later, a wrong-way driver on I-71 in Cincinnati also hit an oncoming car. This time, the wrong-way driver survived, but the other man simply driving home from work was killed.
Wrong-way drivers has got to be one of the most challenging traffic-related calls for law enforcement.
To learn how police respond to these calls and what the rest of us should do, I hit the road with Deputy Tony Ball, the traffic crash reconstructionist for the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. He says most wrong-way drivers are impaired by drugs or alcohol, and certain days and times are especially high risk.
It seems that Saturdays and Sundays and then Fridays are the most common days of the week for these types of crashes. And studies have shown that these crashes occur when it's dark outside. When you start looking at that data even further, the frequency goes up drastically around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And of course that kind of correlates with the closing of liquor establishments.
So when those 911 calls start coming in, what do police do? The National Sheriff's Association and most law enforcement agencies prohibit their officers from chasing a wrong-way driver, but they do have to get their attention. So the basic rule of thumb is what I'm about to do going to make the situation better or worse?
Obviously we can try to block entrance ramps. We can try to deploy officers in a manner to slow traffic. I guess my fear is in trying to let people know, especially from the lawful side of the roadway, are we going to distract those folks and then they're not even going to see the wrong-way driver? That's what worries me.
So what should the other drivers do? Ball says be heads up, especially during those high-risk days and times. And remember that a wrong-way drunk driver coming at you will likely stay to your left or his right, hoping not to get pulled over for OVI.
The suggestion would be that you immediately slow and move to the right, over to the shoulder, or in some cases a grassy roadside, and stop. Call 911 once that wrong-way driver has passed you.
And technology may soon provide some much-needed answers. Work is being done right now on systems that would use your car's GPS to tell you that you're going the wrong way and also to alert you about a wrong-way driver who's coming your way.